Hello, my name is Becca and today I have my Spooky Shelfie TBR for you all. This is also going to double up as my September TBR because there are 7 challenges and I'm reading 7 books and I doubt I'll have any time to read anything else in September. I will of course still be carrying on with my audiobook and my graphic novel reads, but as for like my full-size books, I'll probably only get through these. Also, just before I get into what the Spooky Shelfie ReadAthon is, I have revived my Twitter, so my Twitter link will now be in the down bar below, along with my Goodreads link and my Instagram. Okay, so the Spooky Shelfie is the empty Shelfie readathon, but for October it has a spooky feel to it. This will be my first ever readathon I've participated in. I'm going to do all of the reading challenges, fingers crossed, but I'm not sure yet if I'll be doing the video challenges or the Instagram challenges, just because I've never done them before. And I don't really know what I'm getting myself into, so I don't really want to commit to them. I may do a couple, I may do none. I'll just have to wait and see. I will put the YouTube channel for the readathon down below where you can watch the videos if you would also like to join it. It's going to run from the 1st of October through to the 31st, so it's a month-long readathon, which will give me plenty of time for my first readathon to read all the books. So let's just get straight into it. The first challenge is to read a book with a serial killer in. I don't have any books with serial killers in. I'm not a big crime reader or a thriller reader, so I've bent this question slightly because a serial killer is someone who kills a lot of people, and somebody who also kills a lot of people is an assassin. So I am finally going to be reading Nevernight by J. Kristoff. I'm also reading this because a few people like J.D. Ray Reads, I think Bexham Books, and also A Dash of Ash have started a quarterly book club and they're going to be reading this, and the live show will be on the 28th, so I think I'm going to try and read it so that I can watch the live show and participate. Nevernight is by J. Kristoff and it is about a girl called Mia Corvia, who I think her father or both of her parents are killed when she's quite young, and so she ends up at an academy that trains assassins so that she can get revenge for their deaths. Everybody loves this. God's Grave just came out. I've been looking for an excuse to read it and I'm so glad that I finally can. The second challenge is by one of my favourite booktubers, Hardback Hoarder, and it is to read a book with a spell or a curse. For this I'm reading A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. I can't really tell you too much what it's about because spoilers, but in the first book there is a curse, and throughout the series we have some like cauldron stuff going on, so there are still a lot of spells and bigger things at work, so I'm hoping that this counts because I really need to read it. A Court of Thorns and Roses, as you know if you've watched any of my videos, is my favourite series and this is my most anticipated release of 2017. I was going to read it in September anyway, so I'm glad that I was able to incorporate it into the readathon. The third challenge is a book with paranormal or supernatural elements. For this I will be reading Alice by Christina Henry. I had to do some research into this because I know it's a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, but it's a really dark one. And I know that a lot of the characters, such as the Cheshire Cat, have been personified and made human. So I had to check that it was actually still a fantasy and it was paranormal and it wasn't just sort of Alice hallucinating. And I think that it is. Goodreads has led me to believe that it is, as I really want to read this in October because it is a horror retelling, so I think it's the perfect time to read it. All I know about this is that Alice is in an asylum and it's sort of really dark, really twisted. It is in no means anything like the original Alice in Wonderland, and it is just a pure creepy horror. The next challenge is to read a book with a freakish character, and for this I have picked Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. One reason I picked this is because it's super thin and obviously the main character is freakish, as you'll know if you've read this or seen the film. Can't really tell you why because that would be a spoiler. Fight Club is about a young man who meets a guy called Tyler Durden on a plane. They become very good friends and our main character is quickly immersed in Tyler Durden's world. Things happen, a Fight Club is made, but the first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. And eventually things start getting a little bit too far and the guy wants to pull out but realises he can't, and it's just a roller coaster ride. The fifth challenge caused me a lot of trouble and it is read a book with a mask on the cover or mask in the title. I scoured my bookshelves and I couldn't find anything. I checked Goodreads to see if I could get hold of an ebook before it starts, because the only rule of the Empty Shelfie Readathon is you've got to read books that you already own, and I literally found absolutely nothing that sounded interesting and I wanted to read. Then I remembered that in the US covers, The Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor has a mask on the cover, so I'm going with that, even though mine is the UK edition and it has this boring door. The US covers have a mask on, so that is my book for this challenge. I didn't really want to get bogged down in series during the readathon, but I am reading Alice, but that's fine, it's a duology, and Nevernight, it's kind of current, so I just really want to read it. So this will be the last book that I read for the month if I get to it, because then I have to commit to the series and I'll have lots to tie up, because I'm the kind of person that starts a series and reads it through to the end. I don't just like read one book and then 6 months later read the second book because I've already forgotten. The Daughter of Smoke and Bone is a fantasy series. I don't know a great deal about it, but it is about a young girl who is a student in Prague, but she also lives a double life as a sort of errand girl for this monster that's kind of adopted her, but she has no idea like why she's there. She doesn't know why she's with him or anything like that, and I guess it's about her discovering all of these things and probably getting immersed into a far bigger plot than she intended. Challenge number 6 is to read a book with orange and or black on the cover. I have gone for a black book, and I'm also reading an ebook, and it is All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood. This is quite a creepy sort of book. The subject matter is creepy. Whether it reads creepy is an entirely different matter. This has received a lot of controversy, as you'll know if you saw my book haul when I bought this book. It's about a 8-year-old girl called Wavy and a 20-something-year-old man called Kellen. Wavy has had a troubled childhood. Her father's like some sort of drug lord. There's something going on with her mum. She's not a great parent. And I think Wavy's looking after a younger sibling as well. And she meets this man who is Kellen, who works for her father, and he comes into her life and they start to cling to each other. Her is an escape from her shitty life, and he has some problems growing up, I think, and they start a romance together. I believe that the way it's told is very factual. It doesn't sort of manipulate your emotions into romanticising a paedophilic relationship, but somehow you manage to end up rooting for this relationship anyway. I'm really interested in reading it because I want to sort of see what the controversy is about. A lot of people are disgusted, a lot of people are like sickened with themselves because they root for this relationship, and I want to see sort of what side of the board I fall on. And question number 7 is a book that you think will give you nightmares, mainly because it contains something that you're actually afraid of in real life. And for this, I've chosen another ebook, They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Funny story, I have actually already had a nightmare about this. It was really weird. Like I was listening to it as an audiobook in the nightmare, and then the world was ending and it was really traumatic, and then I sort of woke up, but I'd just finished the book, so it was weird. It was very weird. But I've chosen this because I think that the thought of knowing that you're going to die is very terrifying. I'm not generally scared of death itself. I feel like fate is fate. It'll come for you when it comes for you, but just knowing for a fact that you're going to die in the next 24 hours is just terrifying. They Both Die at the End is about 2 characters that receive a call from something called Deathcast to let them know that they're going to die that day. There's then an app where people in this situation can go to connect with each other. These 2 characters meet each other and they live out their last day together. I expect it to be very sad, but also kind of heartwarming, and I'm really excited to read it. Obviously, it's not a very spooky book, but I'm looking for excuses to read new releases because I don't often grab the newest books on my shelves. And I think with it being a contemporary, it'll be quite a quick read and like help me sort of speed through the challenges. That is all of the books that I'm going to read for this challenge. If I don't manage to get through all 7 books, a lot of them will double up for multiple challenges, so I still should complete all of the challenges, but my aim is to complete all 7 challenges with 7 books. If any of you are taking part in the Spooky Shelfie Readathon, then please drop a comment below. If you're reading any of these books for it as well, we could maybe organise a buddy read if you'd like to. Other than that, please remember to like and subscribe. That's everything from me today. Bye!